On there, folks. Good morning, good afternoon. It is the Earthmaster here on this Wednesday, December 28th, 2022. It is about 11:33 a.m. here along the West Coast in California, and the latest quake shows looks like an earthquake around the Alaska region, actually West Coast 1.1, coming into the area of California right now. This area around the Eastern Pacific has been relatively quiet, aside from a 4.2 up north, which I'll cover in a minute. We did see some larger scale activity kick up overnight, including a 6.0 earthquake there on the globe. Let's go ahead and check out the latest activity here across the region, and there is that earthquake listed in the blue circle there, 6.0 near the Vanuatu area. This originally came in as a 6.5. Now, we did see a little bit of movement prior to this earthquake and a little bit of movement afterwards within the same vicinity, some deeper movement quakes here, back building some stress. Remember last night and yesterday we had this cluster of earthquakes here around the Banda Sea region. Well, general plate movement tells us the westward northwestward plate movement here in the area pushes off in that fashion here towards the west northwest, and deeper quakes not only apply stress up here at the subduction zone levels, but also at the same time you got to remember all that movement's got to build up and go somewhere as far as that pressure gradient goes. And yesterday it was around this area, and it looks like there was just enough strain here this morning for a 6.0 with the Vanuatu earthquake this morning. So things kind of picking up a little bit here within the region. We'll watch that for some further movement. These deeper quakes will definitely trigger some large-scale activity in regions that really haven't seen any major adjustments. All right, see what we got up here around the Mariana Trench, about the northern end. We did see some activity late last night with a 4.6, 158 kilometers deep. Really no adjustment upstream yet. But I think we've seen more deeper earthquakes here in this area over the past couple weeks than we have shallower surface quakes where the stress kind of builds upstream. So we'll watch that zone closely for some activity. Into the Russia area, that earthquake came in about the same time here as the Mariana Trench earthquake down south, 2317, 2344. So just a few minutes later, we're seeing that 5.2 adjustment, about 43 kilometers deep into, just south of the Kuril Islands. The Kuril Kamchatka Trench here, as you know, has been on my watch list for quite a while for a very large earthquake. I'm talking above 6. It's just been awfully quiet, and it's definitely been building up there for some time as far as the amount of strain in that region. All right, further back to the east here around Alaska, not a whole lot of unusual activity. This is just very typical movement throughout Alaska right now. Latest one shows a 2.1 well east of the Denali area, just off the Denali Fault, 2.1, 4.3 kilometers deep. Now, the USGS not really showing anything here for that earthquake we watched on the globe just a couple minutes ago. It's going to be a 4.2 coming in into the area. So let's go over here to the Earthquakes Canada map and see what we have pulled up here. 4.2. USGS been slacking a little bit in regards to the international reporting, and that's a fact. Not dogging them, but definitely they've been slacking a little bit. This one kicked up last night, right? Let's see, 12:28, 17:36 UTC time. 17:36. So, okay, so it's actually been a couple hours, but that should be long enough to put up on the earthquake catalog map. So 4.2, 5 kilometers deep. Now it does look like it's in the. Let's see what we got. It's outside of the region where we've seen that earthquake activity there in Alberta. Around the oil fields a couple weeks ago, I believe that's maybe been longer. But this earthquake, not for sure what we got out here. Not for sure if there's any type of oil fields out here or not, but that's where that 4.2 struck. Seems to be picking up a little bit. Now, I'm not able to view the a satellite imagery here from the Earthquakes Canada map. So I would have to check out the USGS map, but we'll check that out possibly here at a another time. Grand Catch area. Probably be roughly within this little bend area. So whatever's going on there is in this region. We'll check it out just real quick here. Satellite view. See what's out there. Oh yeah, look at that. There's definitely. Let's not go in too close because then it kind of the vegetation takes away the obvious out here. These little specks in the greenery are oil pumping operations, and I'm sure wastewater injection disposal wells as well. And there's a lot of them. Look at these little ponds and tanks out here. This one actually shows a pretty good image of them. And there's a massive amount of them up there in this area of Alberta as well. So the previous swarm is kicking up further to the northeast here. But just goes to show you, eventually, these areas that have, that done that damage, so to speak, there to the earth, will get hit. And that's only a small one, 4.2 today, a couple hours ago. So watch this area. I might want to watch some other oil fields within the region of Alberta for some potential movement. All right, let's see what else we got. Pacific Northwest, not a whole lot going on. Canada. Ah, man, didn't mean to say that. Don't want to make anybody mad at me for our neighbors to the north. But California down here, 2.1. This one coming in about 4 o'clock this morning, 20 kilometers deep in the area where that 6.4 struck over a week ago now. Petrolia is still offline. Dinsmore Station here is a station to watch there in Northern California for some activity on the live stream, just FYI. One earthquake here outside the Concord area near Pleasant Hill, 1.2. Looks like 10 kilometers deep off one of these fault systems here. Actually, it looks like it's on the Concord fault, southern end. A little bit of creeping movement along this segment here of the San Andreas Fault. Nothing major going on. Let's bring up the 2.5 and above map, and we'll see what we have. One earthquake down here on the Brawley seismic zone from yesterday, and a couple other 2s throughout Nevada. But overall, most of the activity, aside from that, is very small microquakes across Southern California today. And this looks pretty quiet. This looks very, very quiet in terms of just daily activity. Not a whole lot going on there. So West Coast somewhat quiet for now. I don't think it's going to stay that way though. Yellowstone National Park getting a little swarming here, eastern section of the park. Don't really see that activity too often, but let's see what's being reported over here. A little hiccup, so to speak, of activity around Pelican Cove. It looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Could be 5 or 6 earthquakes in there. And as you've seen there, the magnitudes are roughly about 2.2 down to a 1.5. Maybe some smaller ones in there as well. I'm really surprised at reporting those. But as you can see, showed up pretty nicely just for a little time. Just looks like around the UTC time of 4 o'clock. So last night, sometime it showed up. Aside from that, no major swarming going on around the rest of the park. No magma movement. No unusual activity to note. Oklahoma, 2 earthquakes here. One from yesterday and one from today. Up here northeast of Woodward. This area has been swarming here over the past couple days. Little swarming area near the Red Hills. I was looking at this last night, and it looks like there's definitely some you guys see those again? It's kind of hard to tell in this area of Oklahoma, but got these little square areas. These actually look like some older oil pumping operations out here and wastewater disposal wells. But that's where that's kicking off here. Eventually, these, when they get abandoned, the weather erodes the surface features off of any satellite images, but they're still there. They just don't look like they're, it's kind of hard to tell. And this satellite image won't zoom in any closer. But either way, activity within this oil field over the past week or so. and one today with a 2.7. Nothing going on across the eastern portion of the country, and the Puerto Rico area calming down slightly. Did have one earthquake here off the coast of the El Salvador region last night with that 4.5. Down here in Chile, getting a little activity spread out, including one off the coast of Santiago, 5.1. That one coming in yesterday. We did have a couple overnights further south around the Chile area off the coast, and also a 4.7 further up north. Now on the earthquake 3D globe here, let's see what we got for any activity in the smaller range. Looks like we do have some 2s and 3s in there, but the cluster is just not there like we've seen over the past couple days. Definitely still seeing some movement here around Indonesia area and around the Taiwan, well, just south of Taiwan, around the Philippines area. And notice on the globe here, we're definitely looking pretty active westward, getting a lot of pressure gradients here heading to the west. Let's go ahead and check it out. All right, yeah, it looks a lot more active than it has been in the past couple days. The latest one shows a 5.6 China area, but as we've seen on the globe, I think we got something else coming in there. Maybe there was a 4.2 coming in. It looks like around the Turkey area, or maybe not Turkey area, around the Caspian Sea. It looks like, let me see exactly where that earthquake is at. 4.2, this guy right here. Turkmenistan, yeah, 4.2 coming in. Pretty recent earthquake, 2 kilometers deep, but that's just one in the mix out there. This thing's definitely getting really active in this area. China back building over here with the 5.6, quite a few 4s. We'll watch this area pretty closely. I haven't seen it this active in quite some time. Let's see what else we got over here south of Turkey, now into the Cyprus region. Did see a 4.0 yesterday, and then overnight a 4.8 around the Aegean Sea. That one coming in about 4 o'clock in the morning, so definitely a broad area of uptick. We've seen this earthquake last night here. Way south into the African region of 4.1. Let me look here on the globe and see what we have. 3.1 coming in down here around the South Africa area, it looks like. Namibia. Let's see, that one, yeah, that one just coming in pretty local to the area. Not a big one, but either way, a little bit of seismic activity down there around the South Africa area. And nothing going on South Atlantic Ocean, but over here we had that oddball earthquake last night, a 4.6 eastern Greenland. I pulled up the last 20 years of data here on the update last night, and there was only another earthquake, and that was back in 2015, I think, with a 4.5. So activity out here is not too common. Since then, we did see some further activity around the Greenland Sea along the plate boundary itself, with a 4.5 in this area. So definitely making an impression out here today as far as the plate dynamics go. Some broad scale activity into a region here that we really haven't seen too much large scale activity take place. Last 7 days here, if we zoom into this area, it just shows very minimal activity across this zone as far as 4.5 and above goes, but it looks like that's changing overnight and today. So we'll keep an eye on this region pretty closely. Deeper movement quakes following that 6-pointer this morning tells me that there's still quite a bit of buildup getting ready to take place in this area. So watch that zone pretty closely. Solomon Islands region for some activity. New Zealand region, nothing showing up here on the map. Let's just go ahead and check out the GeoNet servers and see what we have for activity. How come I always miss GeoNet on my bookmarks? I don't know why I do that. Okay, so moderate earthquake, 3.9 about an hour ago, North Island, New Zealand. Prior to that, the last earthquake was yesterday, 2.8, at least the ones being reported. Look at the all magnitudes here. Within the last couple minutes, seen some microquakes over the last couple hours, and then this 3.9 just an hour ago. Looks like there was a 3.4 as well a couple hours ago. So a little bit of uptick taking place. That 3.9 coming in at 7 kilometers deep. Not a deep earthquake whatsoever. Quick glance here at the volcano drums, and I'm sure it picked up the 3.9, which it did. On a couple various volcano stations here. Now, Taupo super volcano looks like it did have one earthquake, and I'm looking at this one right here. Looks like a generally local earthquake. This is going to be that 3.9 coming in just about an hour ago, a distance from this seismograph station there at Taupo super volcano. But yeah, no major swarms kicking up around any volcanoes that I can see out here right now listed on the map. But activity appears to be picking up here within the last hour or so with that 3.9. And now we got a 4.7 that just came in. You guys see that? I got to have the most recent. I believe that was a 4.7 that came in, wasn't it? Most recent quake. Well, it looks like I did see this light up. As far as the most recent quake goes, but a 1.1 now being listed there in SoCal. But either way, things lighten up, continuing in this area. 4.7 just coming in. Let me see if the USGS is reporting it. No, doesn't look like it. And it's kind of right there in that zone where we're lacking activity. Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, the zone I just talked about. I'm saying to watch out for. So 4.7 definitely coming in there on the model from the EMSC. It looks like Papua New Guinea 4.7, 132 kilometers deep. Tremor last night along the Cascadia subduction zone consisted of 0, the magic number there across the entire length of the Cascadia. No tremor being reported at Yellowstone National Park. And a real quick glance here at the solar weather activity. Things kind of mellowing out. We're still watching 3176 here. That's going to be this massive sunspot. And it looks pretty complex here on the map. Let's see, are we going to have... Doesn't look like it's going to work. So let's go over here to the SDO real quick. And I want to check out a couple different... is the SDO site down? Kind of looks like it. Not getting any info, any feedback from the SDO NASA site. Alrighty. That's a little on the weird side. It appears to be a little slow. Working on some sites, but for me, oh man, it took a long time to load. But either way, here's the most recent image here of 3176. And we'll watch that one. That's about the only potential right now of seeing possibly a good size M flare. And there is a newer sunspot here on the southeastern limb of the sun that we got to watch out for as well. It's kind of hard to see the dynamics of the sunspot, but it looks pretty massive and it looks like it's growing. So we'll watch that region as well for potential flaring. They got that marked over here as well. But 3176 right now, our main regional sunspot to watch. 3171, 3169 all going away from us. And today's image, the most recent image, shows that sunspot activity. And that regional sunspot far over on the northwestern side of the sun. No major coronal holes that are facing us. We did have 59 up here to the north, but I don't believe that's going to be geo-effective with its position there on the sun. Another one coming around the bend. That's going to be a coronal hole. It doesn't look like it's been named yet, but that will be, if it holds up or if it increases, will be a direct shot at the Earth for some high-speed solar wind stream here in a few days or so. Right now, the 3-day geomagnetic forecast looks pretty calm and clear across the board. Not a whole lot of potential for the auroras. Alrighty, guys, have a good day, stay safe, and we will chat you guys another time. Again, watch those regions that I kind of chatted about on the globe. The 4.7 just coming in, and man, just a lot of activity, moderate activity, I would say. You know, the 6.0 about the only large size earthquake for now, but hopefully I didn't jinx it. We'll see how it goes. And let me click the 1.1 for the most recent earthquake. Try to keep it there on the green flag. All right, guys, have a good day. We'll catch you a little bit later on tonight. I got more rain coming into California. In fact, the next 3 days look really wet here in California, so we need it. Have a good one, folks. Catch you all later. Peace out.